Hi class, my name is Xiaoyue Han. My research topic is reverse stock split and stock price. First, let me explain what is stock split. Stock split is a very common decision that companies made in order to increase the number of shares outstanding. Companies issue new shares in proportion to existing shareholders' current shares. For example, in a 2-for-1 stock split, a shareholder will be given one additional share every current shares he owns. If the company used to have 1 million shares outstanding, after the split there will be 2 million. At the same time, the stock can be traded at half of its original value, so in total the overall value of all stocks does not change. For a reverse stock split, it works opposed to the forward stock split. Companies reduce the number of shares outstanding and raise the value of stocks to existing shareholders. If a company divides its number of shares by half, it will be called a 1-for-2 split. Stock split also affects stock price. A forward stock split will reduce the stock price immediately, since there are more shares in the stock market. Companies choose to have stock split when their stock prices are too high for investors to buy. A reverse stock split, on the contrary, drives up the stock price. Many investors view reverse stock split as a bad news because it increases the stock price so fast that problem existing behind the previous low price can be disguised. Companies take actions to solve the problems when the stock prices are rising. However, if they do not fix the problem in time, the stock price will begin to fall and maybe even lower than the original price. That's why this is bad news for investors. Now let's go to my research topic, reverse stock split and the stock price. Many people hold the belief that stock price declines quickly after a reverse stock split, and it tends to be faster when the stock price gets nearer to the previous price. So let's test if this belief is true. I chose 30 companies randomly who had reverse stock splits from June 2015 to June 2016. 30 days stock price were collected. Since each company has different price scale, I decided to calculate the daily returns so that the stock price are represented by percentages. Then I calculated average return for each day and drew a graph of cumulative average daily returns to see the price pattern. And finally, we have this graph. Cumulative daily return versus time. We can see an increase in daily returns from day 1 to day 2. This is due to a sudden reduction in the number of shares outstanding. After day 2, there is a large and relatively long-term drop in price. The daily returns also gets close to its original level at day 3, where the return drops fastest. We can also see from the graph that after the large drop, the daily return never gets back to its original level. So from this specific research, people's belief is tested to be true. So finally, I'll talk about some previous researches. I studied a previous research conducted by Longwood University. This research focused on the impact of stock split announcement on stock price, and 2 results were found. First, the stock split is not affected by the type of information publicated on the announcement date, because the stock returns has already been adjusted before the announcement date. The second result is that this research supported a semi-strong form of market efficiency, which means the stock price adjusted so fast that the public information cannot make anyone or excess returns above the normal level. This is a graph of stock returns of 10 reverse stock split companies collected by the Longwood University. Day 0 is the announcement date. And we can see a drop and rise in stock returns before the announcement date. As the research indicates, this means the stock market adjusts prior to the announcement of the reverse split. More importantly, we can see a stock price kept increasing after the announcement date for about 10 days and started to fall. This date that actual split happened after the announcement date varies from companies to companies. Many companies will have actual action in 1 to 2 days. However, some companies will announce the split several months before the actual splits happening. From the graph, we do see a decreasing pattern after the announcement day. We can make a guess based on my research and the previous research that the date the stock returns falls quickly could be around the actual splitting date. And there is works cited, and thanks.